On Rainbow 94.1 FM. My name is Christopher Lucky Lele, and it is another Thursday morning. How time flies.
Yes, sir.
It's just like I recall it was like yesterday I had this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is Thursday.
I think everybody is saying that the month is kind of fast, so I agree with you.
Yeah, I really do think so. All right, so my name, of course, I think I've said that before, right? Christopher Lucky Lele, yes. And I have with us this morning our health coach that will put us through what we need to understand. I would like her to introduce herself for you to know her and get to meet her.
Good morning, Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Feishayo Sharumi. I am a natural medicine practitioner. I run Smooth Wellness Services here in OPIC, where we help you to take care of your health, degenerative issues, get you back to being you. How do we do this? We use a whole lot of manual therapies like cryotherapy, like physiotherapy, like reflexology, acupressure, acutherapy, a whole lot of manual therapies, and of course electronic ones. Also, we help to drain your lymphatic nodes where it has been infected and it's causing issues. A whole lot of things that's happening in the body are due to little stuff here and there. But on this show, what we do is we talk on stress. Yes, we laid down the principles last week that we're going to make it on stress. So let's dive into that today. All right, so I've been able to talk on what stress is. I think we started over a month ago. So we started this show. That's holistic. This is holistic, where health talks. When we talk about holistic, we're talking about wellness. So that's why sometimes I feel like saying wellness. So it's holistic health talks. That's what this show is all about. Okay, so we have been able to talk about what stress is, the kinds of stress we have, the acute stress, the chronic stress, and the campaign here is the fact that we cannot do away with stress, but we can actually prevent and eradicate chronic stress, which is the one that actually gets us down, maybe immediately or in the future. So we're talking about how do we get our body to be immune to chronic stress. Now last week I was able to say, okay, there are a whole lot of ways that stress can affect us. So I'm going to delve on different systems of the body and how stress affects this system and how we can actually prevent ourselves and ensure that our bodies and organs do not come down with these kinds of stress or ailments and diseases that are offshoots of stress, because stress is the number one killer. We say it's hypertension, but I'm telling you, stress is actually still the root cause of hypertension. All right, so today, like I said last week, is actually how the spirit moves. So this week, let's talk on toxic stress. Now, what is toxic stress? When we talk about toxic stress, we're talking about frequent chronic stress that has harmful and potentially lasting effects on physical, mental health. Now, toxic stress can impact our body in every single aspect. Naturally, when you talk about stress, it activates our sympathetic nervous system. We have two nervous systems, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, when we talk about stress actually activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, or even the freeze mode. Now, when this is happening, a whole lot of chemical things are happening in your body. A whole lot, that's when adrenaline is released. That's when cortisol is released. The adrenal glands are active. A whole lot of things are happening in your body. And when you talk about chronic stress, if this is persistent, this happens to you all the time. All the time, you're always having reasons to have very fast heartbeat, always having reasons to have high blood, this will lead to high blood pressure, and then you start to perspire. Some people actually pee on themselves. That's toxic stress. And for a child, now we're bringing it down to a child, because a lot of us are still children, honestly. Even if you're 50 years old, you still have that childhood traumatic effects that is still guiding your life. Now let's talk about how this toxic stress affects children. Now we have an acronym that's ACE, that is adverse childhood effects. Now, when we talk about adverse childhood effects, these are what you have actually embedded in your body as a child. not knowing that it's the reason why you are behaving the way you are behaving. As a child, your brain is still at the formative state. A whole lot of things are still supposed to form right. But if the child is used to always seeing this kind of stress, and the body always secretes these hormones, it's just a matter of time that child will come down with a whole lot of health issues. And how about behavior? The child might have behavioral issues because the brain now has been wired to see that probably adverse or bad way of life as the way it should be, which is not supposed to be. So toxic stress is supposed to we're here to see how we can protect children from toxic stress so that they don't come down with ACE as children. It's really a situation out there. You see adults in their 40s, in their 50s that they are so irritable. Why? Because probably there's something, I can't take this is me, and that is because you have seen mommy or daddy or older ones when you were younger being very, very aggressive, and then you have taken it into your system. Now, examples of ACEs that we have that children actually go through. We talk about abuse. Now, when we talk about abuse, we can have physical abuse, can be sexual abuse, can even be emotional. Now, I'll talk about the physical and the emotional one. We'll talk about the sexual one probably next week. Physical abuse, when for every single reason, the child is being beaten. For every single thing, when you can talk to the child and correct the child, you beat this child, or you make that way the child will become afraid of that adult. And they are afraid to even approach you as a parent or as an older one, because they know that nothing good will come out of this. This person is always going to beat me or will yell at me. And you know what? No human being actually loves to be yelled at. Nobody likes that pain that comes in. And before you know it, the child becomes immune to either the yelling. The child now just blocks you out, and it becomes a rude child, not knowing that you actually are the cause of this attitude. How about emotional? Sometimes we talk down on children, and it can be so traumatic. You have a child of maybe 6, 7, 8 that is always sad because probably maybe there was a defect somewhere, and mommy or daddy is in a mood, or maybe there's been a separation, and the parent or that particular word is always reminding that child that you are the reason why my marriage broke up, you are the reason why this, you are the reason why that. If not for you, I would have been this. If not for you, I would have been that. So it affects the child emotionally, and you don't know how this can really be in a child. When a child grows up in that manner, the child sees himself as a reject or as an excuse. Or some people, like, if not for you, I would not have married your father. If not for you, I would not have been in this relationship. I was forced into it because I got pregnant with you. So it really affects children. Now let's talk about neglect. I'll put neglect and discrimination together because I'm running out of time. Let's just stop on these 2 points for today. We'll talk about neglect and discrimination. I read a book a while ago about a guy who became very, very bad. He became a serial killer, a real serial killer that he used to be well paid for it. Why did this happen? Because as a child, he had a younger one who was a special child. So the parents actually did not give him so much attention and gave the other his younger brother attention. And before you know it, he started finding attention outside. Before you know it, a whole lot of stupid things started coming to his head. And there was a day he was strolling down with a friend, and he just had an idea. Do you know that I can strangle this friend of mine? And from the back, he walked up to the friend and strangulated the friend, and he didn't feel any iota of guilt. He went back to the friend's parents, hoping that nothing will happen. For nothing happened. They were just asking, "How is your friend?" No, we parted ways a while ago. Okay, fine, he'll be home soon. And that was how the child not come home. Before you know it, the police saw the child, and he was exonerated because he was still a child. But he was happy because he didn't feel any guilt. And that's because of, there was no parental guidance, there was no love. So I'll stop on this point today. Next week we'll continue here and talk more on how toxic stress can affect children because a whole lot of adults are still children on the inside. We haven't been able to expunge that traumatic effects that we have had in childhood. All right, we'll meet again next week. My contact is still 091-603-81840. Contact is still 091-603-81840. My YouTube and LinkedIn address is Feyishayo Sharumi. Feyishayo is with an H. Instagram is smooth and that's SMOOTANDS. There's no H there. Facebook is Feyishayo Sharumi. The Shayo does not have an H. And TikTok is Smooth Wellness Services. I love you all. Stay blessed and let's keep away from stress.
All right, thank you so much, Faye, for joining us this morning. Okay, we jump straight to the